All right. Welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Um, Let me start off with Poloniex right now. I know some of you guys that probably went on Poloniex and tried to log in or tried to open the site up and the site's down. And I did go to PolonieX's Twitter, and they saying that we are aware of the connectivity issues and are working to resolve them. And also they said trading has been halted while we work to restore connectivity. This may take some time. Okay, that's all we have from them. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure if they're being hit with a DOS attack, or I'm not sure if they're trying to, trying to scam everybody. I don't know what's going on with Poloniex, but it is what it is. This is what we have so far. So when the site comes back up, it comes back up. If it doesn't come back up, they'll let us know and say, "Hey, we're gone. Bye." You know what I mean? They'll probably they'll probably pull if they are trying to scam everybody, because it was just working fine just a couple hours ago, right? So everything was fine. So I know they put out their new agreements and stuff like that and things of that, but and they've had some bad press lately from other sites, but other than that, it looks like everything was working fine. The volumes were coming in like crazy on the coins through Poloniex, so I don't think they were having any problems with volume and people logging in and stuff like that. Now they weren't for the Bitcoin fork, so no one got any BCC or BCH, whatever you want to call it. It's now BCH now for Bitcoin Cash. Same thing with Coinbase. Coinbase they didn't offer Bitcoin Cash as well. And then people are calling Coinbase. People are really angry at Coinbase because it looks like Coinbase is going to be taking those funds and that they got from Bitcoin Cash, from the Bitcoin Cash, and they're going to be using it for other means instead of giving it to the people, which they were supposed to. It looks like they're going to be using it for other maintenances and maybe all the money, get back the money that they had to give out for the flash crash for that happened with Ethereum, where they went in there on GDEX and had to repay everybody back their money and margin calls and things of that nature. Anyways, just wanted to make sure that was clear. Poloniex isn't working. Okay, so I don't know what else to say. Let me actually click here and let's go to Poloniex. Let me see if I can go to Poloniex here. Poloniex.com. I don't know why it won't let me to go to Poloniex. It keeps coming back to Twitter. I don't know what's up with that. Poloniex, and it keeps coming back to Twitter. Okay, so even my thing is not even working correctly. I don't know what's going on. Let me actually go here and Poloniex.com. Nope, it keeps coming back to Twitter. What? Oh, okay, there it is. Then there you can see it. It says this page isn't working. Poloniex.com is currently unable to handle this request. HTTP error 500. So it could be it could be a couple of DOS attacks, maybe some hackers trying to get in and corrupt it. I don't know, or they could have scammed everybody and rolled out, and they're gonna let everybody know tomorrow. I don't know, guys and girls. I don't know. It's not funny because I have money in Poloniex as well, so I don't know why I'm laughing. You know what I mean? But I can't do nothing about it. It's out of my hands until they come back up. So anyway, so let's continue to move on. I can't sweat things that I have no control over, so I'm just gonna wait it out like everybody else, like millions of people who are signed up with Poloniex and trade on Poloniex. So let's keep it moving. Investors rush to buy Iraq's first independent bond. Now, this is coming from Red Star. He posted it on Facebook Currency 365 in the comment section. So if you want to get up, breaking news articles and stuff, go to the comment sections on Currency 365, because we have Eric and Red Star and others there that post breaking news stuff, man, and we get all the latest stuff up to date. So anyways, and also Daniel, we did on the main channel, you guys saw me, Daniel posted about the IMF congratulates Iraq Central Bank, right? So, and that's just the beginning. We want to see them really congratulate them when they launch the international rate, okay, and return to the international stage. But this is internationalism right here. Investors rush to buy Iraq's first independent bonds. Now let's go backwards because I don't even have to read these articles. See, people will be like, man, here's an article, and all this other stuff. Like, or people think that I study this all day long. And I keep telling you guys I don't study this any longer. I stopped studying this. I know this to the T. I know this down pat. I don't even have to read this article to tell you everything that's in the article. Like, I know Iraq like the back of my hand. Okay, so we can just so I don't even have to bring another article to go back. I can already vision it in my mind right now, and I can remember what happened in the last international bond that they tried to do. And I remember it was around this time frame when they were trying to do the international bonds. I think last year, they were setting up the international bonds. Matter of fact, they set up the national bonds, and that didn't work. And then they set up the international bonds. I mean, we were just laughing at them. Remember that? This was back in August, September of last year, and they came out with the international bonds. They said that they were going to send it out and launch the international bonds, and they were going to get the backing of J.P. Morgan and Deutsche Bank and all this bull crap. And we were just sitting there laughing because it's like your national bonds weren't successful. Your national bonds. So now you have the bulbs to come out with to try to see if your international bonds are going to work. Are you kidding me? And so it was just a big joke. And so that didn't work. It fell on his face. It fell flat. And Iraq said no one wants our international bonds. Of course, no one wants your international bonds. What you know what I mean? We told you that, and so it was embarrassing. Anyways, so come to this year, 2017, they launched their national bonds, and it was backed by it was all of it. It was $1 billion dollars of national bonds, and it was all backed by America. And so those were able to sell. And those sold out. The citizens came in, got the bonds, and opened up accounts, and they got bonds, and other people bought the bonds and stuff like that. And now, here comes the international bonds, and the international bonds, once again, backed by Deutsche Bank and I think J.P. Morgan and some other bank. And now you see that investors, because their national bond was successful, now we have investors rushing in to buy Iraq's first independent bonds. These international bonds are not backed by America. And that is a key statement I just said there, because America did not back these international bonds, and they are going to be successful, okay, for the first time selling international bonds. Okay, and so America didn't back them up because America doesn't have to back up I'm not gonna. Should I even say it? Should I even say it? Oh man. I mean, this is so easy to understand, but people cannot understand this. I'm going to say it right now, and I can actually cut the video off right after I say this, but we'll continue, okay? I'm not going to read this article. I'm not wasting people's time and my time, but let me say it so you guys can understand it clearly. America didn't back Iraq's international bonds because America doesn't have to back a currency that is equal to their rate. Uh, I think some light bulbs just went off there. Oh man. So they did the national bonds, and America backed them up because they were going through their 3-0 process, and so it was successful. Then they completed, according to Walking Stick and others that are in Iraq, they completed the 3-0 process on paper. And so America came out and said, we're not backing their international bonds because there's no reason to back international bonds when their rate is 1-to-1 to us. Oh my gosh. I'm hoping we're going to see that 1-to-1 in the month of August. Hopefully by the third or fourth week of August. But We shall see, shall we? Or maybe the first week of September. I don't know. I'm gonna be here from yeah, and we're gonna keep covering this thing from now all the way to 1118. Okay, but the fact that America didn't back these international bonds should have been the light bulb that went off that said, why wouldn't they back this if they know it's gonna fail? No, they know it's not gonna fail because they know that Iraq's 1-1 with them. So that's why investors are rushing in to get the bonds. Oh my gosh, that's funny. At least on paper they are. They're not 1-1 yet, right? On the CBI, but they're 1-1 on paper. And they presented the economic reforms to launch the economic reforms with the World Bank and the IMF. Today, the IMF congratulates the Central Bank of Iraq for a great job. Yeah. And now they're also going to improve their credit rating coming up here, either maybe next month. Sometimes they do the credit ratings in August and September, and sometimes they wait until January to do it. And you're going to see a significant improvement in Iraq's credit rating on the next go around. I'm pretty sure it could be September or August, or it could be January. Okay, but you're going to see they improved this year early January to B plus, and on most of them were changed to B plus positive outlook. I think one of them were still B minus, but it went from B minus negative to B minus positive, and the other ones went to B plus, right? So next year's credit rating for Moody's and Standard and Poor and Finch, it's going to be all B plus pluses, A minuses, and positive outlooks. Great country to invest in. Okay, so I don't need to go through this. You guys can read this. Red Star posted it. I'm gonna give him the credit for it, so I'm not gonna read through this. You guys can go over there to Facebook Currency 365 and read it in one of the comment sections out, and I might even post it underneath this video. But I mean, the light bulb should have went off for everybody once America said they're not going to back the international bonds, and that the international bonds were going to still be successful. And so, okay, so let's move on. Maliki accuses U.S. agencies of seeking to form an emergency government to exclude the Dow Party. Yeah, he's right about that. And he should be nervous because they want to oust them out. They want to oust Maliki out. They know he's the bad guy. They know he is the evil seed that's in the government that is just corrupted the government. They want to oust him out. They want to oust out everybody that has Iranian ties to the Iraqi government. They're trying to push the Iranian influence out of Iraq because it shouldn't be there. And if you want to be in Iran, go live in Iran. This is Iraq. This is not Iran. Stop pushing Iranian influences in Iraq. And that's why and this is one of the reasons why Maliki is begging Russia to come into Iraq, because he wants to hide behind Russian troops. And he knows American troops are not going to do anything about it if Russian troops are standing there, because then we got an all-out, because if that happened, we would have it then an all-out World War III already. And so he knows nothing is going to happen if he gets Russian troops behind him. You know what I mean? And so this is why he's calling on Russia to come on into Iraq. And it's because America and the UK and Europe and Australia and others are going to try to oust him out and remove that Iranian influence, including Saudi Arabia, out of Iraq. And they should do that, because Iranian influence should not be an Iraqi government. It should be Iraqi influence, not Iranian. And what does Iran has any? Iran should not be running Iraq, and they are. And so this is going to feud what we've been prophesying for a while, that Iran is going to invade Iraq in the near future. And even, it's funny because I remember when Breitland said, nah, that's not going to happen. And then a few months later, Breitland went back and did the study and said, yeah, they will do that in the future. And yeah, it's possible that Iran will invade Iraq in the future. Yeah, it is, Breitland, because it will happen. There's no doubt about it. Okay, that's just That's common sense. That's prophetic. It will happen. I mean, there's nothing going to stop it, and you can see why it's going to happen because you got so many of these evil people like Maliki that are putting this Iranian influence in Iraq, and when they push it out, guess what's going to happen? Iran's just going to come back with an army and their political people and invade Iraq. That's what they're going to do because they're going to be so angry about it. And so you're going to see Iranian influence be pushed out of Iraq because of the Western world. And then Iran is going to return in the future and invade Iraq. We kept telling you guys this 3 years ago. I think 3, 4 years ago, we said this was going to happen. And you're seeing it play out. And the invasion isn't going to be for another years and years down the line, but it's coming. And it's definitely, you can see that that's exactly what's going to happen. Okay, so I mean, prophetic stuff, man. It is what it is. Let me go here and let's look at a body here because he's man. I'm not even gonna give him that. I'm not even gonna give him that much camera time. I mean, let me go over here. Let's see what he says.
شافوا العراق أصبح عزيز بأهله قوي بإمكاناته مو إمكانات خارجية والبعض يريد ينسب هذا النصر للآخرين التضحيات أقولها كلها عراقية البعض يزعلون بس أنا أقول لكم كلها عراقية ما أتحدث الحق حق ومن ضاف عليه العدل فالجور عليه أضيق يريد ينسب هذا النصر إلى دول إلى نعم هسه احنا نشكر مساعدنا واللي ما يشكر المخلوق لا يشكر الخالق وعبرنا عدة مرات دول اللي وقفت معنا أمدتنا في وضع الشدة مواجهة داعش العالم استوعب أن هناك خطر وأنا أؤكد مرة ثانية ترى ماكو واحد بهذا العالم يقدم شيء مجانا أنا أستغرب من بعض الكلام يصور هاي الدولة تقدم من أجل عيون العراقيين لا كل الدول تقدم من أجل مصالحها بس هذا مو
Okay. All right, so he was speaking to his colleagues there, Prime Minister Abadi, and he was talking about that a lot of countries are trying to claim the victory of Mosul, and it was only and the victory of Mosul should go to the Iraqi citizens, the Iraqi forces and soldiers. They should be credited for it. He talked about Peshmerga there. He talked about how they defeated Daesh and things of that nature in Mosul. But Peshmerga didn't actually, they didn't fight in Mosul. But anyways, he talked about Peshmerga and what they did. No, Peshmerga did fight in Mosul, but they fought in East Mosul. Excuse me. Okay, so that's why he was talking about the Peshmergas. So he talked about Peshmergas in East Mosul and not Western Mosul because they stayed out of Western Mosul. But he talked about the Iraqi fighters. Now, Abadi, give it a break, brother, because in front of Iraqi people, Abadi saying, look, man, all these countries claiming that they got victory in Iraq and Mosul, but it was the forces sacrifices, right? But that's not the case because we know that a lot of American soldiers were dressed and looked like Iraqi soldiers, okay? What we did was we went in there, and this is the time when everything went super fast. Remember when we had that little layoff and we were like, why are things so slow? And then I told you guys that looks like the Americans are about to come in there and take over. And then everything started going like that. It's because we went in there and we went back in there. We actually was already in Mosul and all these other places, and we went through it first, and then we come out with the British forces and other forces were in there as well, all international forces. We went in there and then we did the job, and then the Iraqi forces go in there, and I told you guys the Iraqi forces are going to be in there with clean uniforms, taking a lot of pictures, okay, and they're going to be going through rebels and rebels and all types of stuff. Did you see a lot of the videos where the Iraqis were walking through rubbles and they were editing and cleaning? They weren't really fighting. And when they did see somebody, they would engage in them. But most of the times you saw the Iraqi forces walking through rubble areas and things that were already done. Okay. And with clean uniforms. Okay. Not saying that they didn't fight in some areas, because they did, but we went through there, and it got a lot faster because we donned their uniforms, and people were like, "Oh, that's not. How could you say that the American troops donned the Iraqi troops' uniforms and went in there and did the job?" And then what happened was Iraqis on Twitter started posting stuff like, "That looks like an American," or "There's American Humvee on the streets in Mosul. There's another American. There's Americans right there. What are Americans doing here? I thought our body said that only the Iraqis were clearing." And so you get the point, right? And Mosul picked up dramatically fast. It's because we donned their uniforms. So Abadi's lying here, but he has to. I mean, what are you going to say? You know what I mean? He has to give credit, and we said it from the beginning. Even Frank, I remember when Frank said it as well, you know, that this war, that Iraq has to get the victory. Iraqi troops, and it's important that Iraqi troops get the victory for Mosul. That was important because it would symbolize that the Iraqi army could at least handle and protect their country, which will give them stability and security. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that was clear. He did talk about Peshmergas and the PMUs and everybody else. Some of you guys couldn't understand the translation. That's fine, but yeah, so that's what he was talking about there. Anyways, I'm done. I've said enough. YouTube will not monetize this. And I'll post this on Facebook for you guys, and hopefully Poloniex comes back up, and yeah, and I don't know, because if Poloniex doesn't come back up, then what am I gonna do for trading videos? I might have to go to freaking Konaji or use trading views for my trading videos, my crypto videos. I don't know, so I don't know what's going on with Poloniex. Let me try one more time here and bring up Poloniex. Hold on one second. Let me see if Poloniex will come up while I'm on this thing. Let me see. Nope, Poloniex. This page isn't working. Poloniex.com. Okay, so oh Lord, we'll see what happens if Poloniex has scammed everybody. Wow, that would be a lot of money that they ran off with if that's the case. But they're communicating on Twitter saying it's not the case, and that they're working on it. So we'll see what happens, guys and girls, and talk to you guys later. Eyes open. Peace out.